In 2021, the Governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund provided funding to help Colorado schools and communities address challenges to student learning and well-being caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. 6 Denver area charter schools teamed up to use these grant funds for innovative summer school programs that help students catch up on learning and receive support with social-emotional wellness. The Colorado Evaluation and Action Lab worked with these schools to support them in planning, learning from one another, and sharing their story.
The need that became clear throughout the pandemic, and is generally true in education regardless, is that kids need that social emotional learning piece. They need that sense of connectedness to school. So when there was a grant opportunity to bring families back together after the pandemic, these 6 DPS charter schools all came together, very different schools, very different missions, but all very unique schools. Charter schools have a lot of autonomy, but so they did a lot of different things, but what they had in common was to develop summer programming that would bring in social emotional learning and academics.
Summer is a different time than the school year. The school year, there's a lot of pressure on academics and in all of the achievement areas. And summer, I think, is a really wonderful time actually to focus on more of the social emotional learning parts of life. Social emotional learning is really core to education, to learning, to human development. It's all those important skills that kids learn throughout their early childhood all the way through their young adulthood. How to develop healthy identity, how to develop healthy relationships and maintain them, how to understand what your emotions are, how to make critical decisions and weighing the things that are important to you and the things that are potentially risky, how to really think about decisions and goals and how to set goals and achieve them.
The social emotional learning has benefited my children in several different ways. They are benefiting by being able to say, I feel sad. I need you to do this. Or, I don't think, this is empathy, I don't think that made my sister feel very happy. You should apologize. And they do. And it's like they respond to it. So they're learning it at school, but they're also bringing it at home, which I think is amazing.
So what I've been able to see from students in the summer program both last summer and this summer is just a joy of being a kid, right? I mean, for 2 years, kids were indoors in front of a screen, forgetting what it's like to be a kid. And our summer programs create an opportunity for them to come and be a part of something where they have a little bit of learning, right? But a lot of fun.
So I think one of the biggest factors that summer school has contributed to in social emotional learning for our students is saying yes to new opportunities and new activities that they haven't tried before, right? Kind of like feeling that fear, acknowledging it, saying like, of course you feel nervous. This is a brand new experience. It would be weird if you didn't feel nervous. But let's figure out ways that we can push through this anxiety knowing that you are in a safe environment, and we would never ask you to do something that we didn't feel safe doing, right? So like, let's feel this fear and continue to push through it and say yes, and then we can apply that to other things. Like right when you get a math assignment that is a bit trickier, you now know how to push through that anxiety and fear and try new things.
This summer school is not punitive, that it is just for us to create more relationships, to build their social emotional skills, just to be more comfortable with school and like the things that we're going to be expecting in the fall.
I feel like confident. I feel that I know I'll be able to make it, and I know going into senior year as a fresh start, I have everything down and I know what to expect.
Charter schools are uniquely positioned to do summer school programming because they have so much ability to respond to the needs of their community. So in one year versus another year, those needs might look different, and charters have that flexibility to be able to say, okay, right now our students are showing us and telling us, and our families are showing us and telling us that they need X, Y, and Z.
I think the major call to action is to recognize how important it is for students to be able to be connected to their school community over the course of the summer.
I mean, the number one issue are resources and it's funding, and it's having the staff, and it's having the spaces open, and it's having the curriculum and the framework and the skills and the support when needed, right? So it all takes investments and money and funding, but also attention, right, to the importance of social emotional learning throughout the year, right, throughout development.
So I see the great opportunity for charters to really lean in and say, hey, we want to prioritize social emotional learning on the same plane as academics. I think if we saw schools doing that across the board, we would see a huge difference in educational outcomes, not only academic, but social, emotional, mental health outcomes would be much improved.